One could say that the golden age of Malay films in Singapore was really the 1950s to the 1960s. And this is when a whole range of movies, of films were coming out from the Jalan Ampar Studios. They were on Balestier Road under the Malay Film Productions. Even though it was focused on Malay films, and in this 20-year period, over 150 movies across a vast range of genres came out from the studios over here, it really was a huge international effort to put up the famous Malay movies that are still much loved today. One of the most famous actor that came out from the Malay film industry is notably Tan Sri P. Ramlee. P. Ramlee really was one of the stars of this period, and he was more than just an actor. He was a director, songwriter, producer, and very much had his finger on the pulse on some of the issues of that period. I think the legacy that P. Ramlee left behind was that he was able to allow viewers to have windows into seeing themselves, into seeing the social milieu in which they lived in, but also being able to poke fun at themselves. So it was a critical examination of how Malays were, whether they were traditional, how they fit in a modern and very multicultural setting, because a lot of the movies that he did film was in Singapore, was in Malaya. They showed contrast between rural life and city living, or women actually being a big character protagonist in a lot of films. For instance, Maria Manado, one of the famous actresses of that period, was actually cast in Pontianak. Pontianak being a horror film, but it was in a way a reflection of society having a bit of anxiety about women being out in the public sphere and women having more control over their destiny. Some of the advertisements that were going out to sell for the movies in Singapore and Malaya at that point in time was really colourful. It really tried to capture the main excerpts or also the stars of the show. And many of the movie posters back in the day were actually painted. The other way of disseminating all these ads about the movies, other than in the advertising pages of newspapers, were actual leaflets, where the studios actually go out. They'll be throwing out the leaflets, and you see kids happily running after and collecting all these leaflets and then disseminating them to their friends and family. These movies were also a mirror in which people could see and examine a bit more closely how Malay culture, how Malay society was evolving and changing.